Hello my friends and welcome! We're going to try something a little bit different today. We're going to hopefully be starting a series that I am going to call The Life and Lies of. The first one that we are going to do is in fact the gorgeous Haunted Mansion, and what perfect day to start it out with having the scrim up. A lot of what I want this series to be is some truth, some me just completely BSing the story as we go, and hopefully you'll never be able to tell which one's which unless you're a nerd like the rest of us. Hopefully you'll learn a little bit of something, hopefully I'll be able to get you guys to laugh. But let's have some fun, and the intention is I'm going to do this with a handful of attractions. I'm going to hit record right when we sit down and get going, and I'm just going to keep rattling off nonsense until the attraction is over. Some attractions like this can be 8 to 9 minutes. Others, maybe like Expedition Everest, could be closer to 2 or 3, and I'm just going to keep rattling the whole time. So, let's begin. Let's have some fun. We find ourselves here in the Haunted Mansion, going along the portrait, getting ready to take gorgeous photos of ourselves. As we continue through, the first room that we'll find ourselves is in the library.
With priceless first editions, only Ghost Story.
As you're going through the library, you'll see a wonderful chair that looks oddly like Donald Duck, as well as a handful of books on the table there. One of them is inspired by The Nightmare Before Christmas. That is the overlay that they do out in Disneyland. Unfortunately, they do not do it here. However, they will do it over in Hong Kong as well. There is also a griffin hiding right in here. That is a nod to Harry Potter and the Griffin Door. Now, they are talking about the 999 happy haunts. As you are going around, if you decide to actually count each and every one of those ghosts, you will find all 999 of them. Most of them will be contained within the foot that are walking around within these stairwells right now for you, as well as within the wallpaper. Now, this wallpaper is going to be the second most expensive wallpaper that is on Walt Disney World property. We will see the first most expensive in a moment. Half the expense of this one is that it actually is alive. Yes, they did put living heartbeats in it. Now, here you are going to see your first ghost. This does ruin a bit of story that we'll get to in just a moment, but we are also going to show off the most expensive wallpaper on the property. That is because this is in fact an infinite hallway, meaning that they have infinite money that they have to spend on wallpaper. Now, the Hatbox Ghost is the first ghost that you do see. As you're going through the attraction, it's kind of in 3 phases. The first one is going to be where you are simply touring through the attraction. You are not interacting with ghosts. You do not see the ghosts. You are uniquely existing. As we go, we're going to enter the seance room, where we are then going to be able to see the ghosts but not be able to interact with them, and then inevitably we are going to be a part of the ghosts themselves. A lot of the portraits that you see along here are going to be inspired by Imagineers, and the clock here is going to be the only one in existence with that 13 on the top. Now, the crystal ball here is going to be the wonderful Madame Leota. She's going to be voiced by the different actress than what her face is. Her voice is going to be very familiar to a lot of you. That voice is actually going to be of an actress that I don't know the name of.
Wherever you dwell, give us a hint by ringing the bell.
Most of you will recognize her as Maleficent or Lady Tremaine. Now, you'll also see a book hanging right below where she is floating. That's a whole bunch of different stories that have been inspired by Disney Ghost Stories. They are going to have Mr. Toad in there, as well as the Headless Horseman.
They're assembling for a swing wake.
The swing wake here is the first time that we are going to be able to see the ghosts. We cannot interact with them, but we can see them. This is due to the Pepper's Ghost effect. That is correct. They put peppers on ghosts and they keep them captive here. Now, a lot of the animatronics that they're going to use for these ghosts are going to be ones that you will see elsewhere. The one that is the most fascinating to me is the old lady blowing out the candles, because that is also the pirate that is whistling to the dog in the Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, a lot of the ghosts over there are missing their legs. That's because in the time of where those animatronics are from, they actually just made a one-size-fits-all coffin and decided to just cut off the bottom of their legs if they didn't fit. Now, as we are going through, we are going to see Constance the Bride and her 5 husbands. This is an homage to the 5 different haunted mansions around the world. Here, California, Paris, Tokyo, and Shanghai. Don't fact check me on any of this. Now, all of these do have different rewards that she has gathered, including having different quantities of pearls. And we do get to see the bride for the very first time, as well as, like I said, the quantity of pearls that she has in each portrait does gain per 1. Now, out in Disneyland, the Hatbox Ghost is going to be right here. However, here in Disney World, it is alluded to that we are in fact pushed out of the window by the bride herself. This makes it to where whenever we are entering the graveyard itself, we are able to interact with the ghosts. We see them in a lot more three-dimensional form. Now, the ravens that you see off to the side, they were originally going to be the narrators of the attraction. There are 3 of them scattered throughout. There's one of them was earlier on top of a sarcophagus, and we will see the other one as we are exiting the grave here. Now, over here we have somebody who is able to actually see and inspire the ghosts. You do also see his puppy down there. A wonderful little puppy. We do love him. You gotta pet him every time you do come through here. Once again, we are able to actually see and interact with the ghosts now. They're all going to be those animatronics, and you are going to see these scattered throughout all different eras of life, all different ages, as well as a handful of kitties. You're going to see a queen, you're going to see a mummy. You are also going to see our singing bus over here. The broken one, a lot of people think looks like Walt Disney. That's because it is. You know, Walt Disney's frozen head, we chucked him in here. No, actually, that is the voice of Thurl Ravenscroft. A lot of people know him as Tony the Tiger, or as my personal recognition is going to be the one who sings You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. Now, once upon a time, this was more culturally appropriate. Hey, probably not anymore. However, the expression, the show's never over till the fat lady sings, or something along like that. Well, look at that. Over here, we have our stereotypical opera singer over here singing her heart out on opera. As we are going into our final scene, we are also going to see that final raven up top, as well as 3 of the hitchhiking ghosts. These hitchhiking ghosts are named Ezra, Gus, and Phineas. Those were not their original names. In fact, they were never given a name. However, the fandom of Disney decided they loved them so much that they gave them names, and now you can start seeing that on official Disney merchandise. No idea when this changed. Eventually, it just decided that it was going to. Here, you're going to see your wonderful host of the show here. Oh no, he fell. Hi, friend. Good job. And lastly, as we are exiting, you are going to see little Leota up here. That is supposed to be Madame Leota. However, it is a different voice actor, but I believe it is the same face as you go. And the last thing that I'm going to leave you all with are these torches that are going to be to our left-hand side as we are exiting. Those are actually going to be sculpted hand for shot, shot for shot, after the Imagineers that worked on this. They all shoved their hand into a mold, and they made these lamps that are hanging up on the right here. Alrighty, y'all, thank you very much for joining me for the first rendition of the Life and Lies series. Hopefully you enjoyed all of your completely accurate historical facts about the Haunted Mansion, its story, its lore, and all that. I can't wait to do this again with another attraction. That was really fun. Yeah, thank you all very much for joining. Hope you had a great time. Can't wait to edit this 3-clip video.